True feminine power isn't about forcing a man to listen. It's about mastering silence so completely that he would give anything just to hear you speak. Picture this: Japan, Kyoto, the Edo period. Hardened samurai, generals, men whose lives revolve around blood, strategy, ruthless control, and the constant, intimate presence of death. They return from battlefields or imperial courts, carrying the weight of war in their nervous systems. Where do they go to recover? Not to their lawful, obedient wives waiting at home. They spend fortunes, entire fortunes, for a single evening in an okiya, a secluded geisha house. Many still cling to the naive belief that they went there for physical intimacy. History says otherwise. Geishas were not courtesans. The very word geisha means a person of art. So what art commanded such staggering prices from the most powerful men of the era? What did they find in those quiet tea houses that they could not find anywhere else? They weren't buying a body. They were buying a state of profound, almost hypnotic calm. A trance that a geisha could induce within minutes. Beside her, a samurai, whose mind was perpetually locked in survival mode, would exhale. His pulse would slow. His shoulders, once tight with tension, would finally drop. He would forget his enemies, his burdens, his war. She didn't entertain him. She switched off the war inside his mind. How? No spells, no mysticism, no hidden rituals. What she used is something modern neuroscience now understands as the regulation of the parasympathetic nervous system through the vagus nerve. And she did it so precisely, so elegantly, that a man would become physiologically attached to the peace he felt only in her presence. Welcome to Soul Resonance. Today, we're not talking about esotericism. We're breaking down the biology of magnetism through the most underestimated system in your body, the vagus nerve. If you're tired of interactions draining your energy, if you feel like you're constantly rushing, filling every silence, trying to do everything, and receiving burnout and emotional distance in return, stay with me. Because one simple physiological shift can make people gravitate toward you, like a magnet. If this resonates, subscribe to Soft Power Society. Here, we don't teach surface-level manipulation. We go deeper. We recalibrate the very settings of your mind and body, so life begins to align without force. Ready? Let's get real. What rhythm are you living in? The modern woman moves like compressed chaos. You wake up fast, scroll fast, get ready fast, move fast. You're juggling multiple chats, firing off rushed voice notes. Your hands are never still, fixing your hair, tapping your phone, shuffling papers. Your speech is rapid, dense. You're trying to pack maximum meaning into minimum time, afraid you'll be interrupted, or not heard at all. It feels like adaptation. It feels like efficiency. It feels like success. But from the perspective of ancient neurobiology, because the male brain still processes reality through primal, survival-based coding, you're transmitting something very different. In the wild, only two types of creatures move in constant, jittery, fragmented motion: small prey and animals running for their lives. A mouse twitches, scans, pulses with anxiety. Now compare that to a predator, a lioness, a panther. They move with unhurried grace, smooth, economical, controlled. They never rush, because they have nothing to fear. They have time. So when you, intelligent, beautiful, well put together, sit across from a man and speak quickly, gesture sharply, nervously sip your coffee, and fill every second with words, his brain reads it. instantly. And his subconscious delivers a verdict. There's tension, there's anxiety, there's insecurity. But more importantly, mirror neurons activate. He begins to feel your state. Your rhythm becomes his rhythm. His adrenaline rises, his body tightens, a subtle unease sets in. He doesn't know why, but suddenly, being around you feels uncomfortable. He wants to leave, to escape somewhere quiet. Geishas understood this centuries before MRI scans and neuroscience. They were trained in one thing above all, the mastery of rhythm. Their power wasn't in what they said, it was in how, and at what pace, they existed in space. You don't need a kimono. You don't need white makeup. You need to understand your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, nervus vagus, is the longest nerve in your body. It runs from your brainstem and weaves through your heart, lungs, throat, and digestive system. It's the command center of your parasympathetic system, the rest and digest state, the opposite of fight or flight. When your vagal tone is high, your pulse is steady, your face is relaxed, your digestion is smooth, your voice becomes deeper, grounded. And here's the extraordinary part, your state transmits. That's what the geisha did. She regulated his nervous system through her own. She became a tuning fork. He entered her space, and within minutes, his entire system recalibrated to her frequency. He relaxed. But this works both ways. Your breathing, your movement speed, they directly influence your vagal tone. Slow your body, and your brain receives a signal. There is no danger. Your hormones shift instantly. Practice 1. The -15% rule. Tomorrow morning, make a decision. Slow down everything by just 15%. The way you place a cup on the table. The way you turn your head when someone calls your name. The way you sit down. Remove sharpness. Imagine the air around you has thickened like water and you're moving through it. At first, your mind will resist. Faster, we don't have time. That's cortisol withdrawal. Ignore it. When you pick up your phone, do it smoothly. When you adjust your hair, let your hand glide. Within 30 minutes, something subtle will happen. Your breathing deepens, moves from chest to belly. Because slow movement activates your parasympathetic system, and people around you, they start reacting differently. Because chaos lowers status, slowness signals power. A woman whose movements are fluid, unhurried, and free of nervous tension puts a man into a light trance. He wants to watch her, to stay, to linger in that feeling. But physical presence is only the first layer. The true art, the one worth gold, lives in acoustics and space. Let's talk about a Japanese concept, ma. There is no perfect translation. It means the space between things, the pause, the silence that gives everything meaning. In Japanese culture, emptiness isn't absence, it's power. It's where tension breathes, where anticipation builds, where presence becomes magnetic. This kind of humming, what you might call mantric toning, is used clinically to reduce stress. So try it. Hum for 1 full minute. Let the sound be soft, steady, grounded. As you do, your vocal cords begin to relax, your larynx gently lowers, and when you speak afterward, you won't recognize your own voice. It becomes warmer, deeper, magnetic. Now imagine this. A man hears a woman speaking in that voice, slow, measured, with intentional pauses. His nervous system doesn't analyze it, it responds. His vagus nerve begins to synchronize with yours. Oxytocin is released. His body softens, and suddenly, being around you feels like relief. He doesn't fall in love with the shape of your nose or the color of your dress. He falls in love with a state of complete, disarming calm that exists only in your presence. In a world where he has to fight, prove, perform, he finds an oasis, a modern-day geisha, a priestess of stillness. But here's the trap, the one 90% of women fall into when they hear this. They think, perfect, I'll just use pauses, lower my voice on a date. He'll fall for me, and then I can go back to normal. No, biology doesn't work like that. The male brain is not a naive program you can hack with surface tricks. You cannot fake a regulated nervous system. If inside you're burning with anxiety, if you're silently waiting for him to validate you, if you're afraid he might leave, your cortisol will betray you, no matter how slowly you move your hands. False calm layered over internal chaos feels off, unnatural. Your task is not to act calm. Your task is to become calm, to fundamentally recalibrate your baseline, to take up permanent residence in your parasympathetic state. So here's your framework, a 7-day vagus nerve reset. 7 days to disrupt the default setting of rush, tension, and low-grade anxiety. And listen carefully, this is not for male attention. This is for your nervous system survival. Attention, opportunities, even income growth, those are just side effects of regulation. Rule 1. The morning blackout window. For the first 30 minutes after waking, no phone, no messages, no news, no exceptions. Morning sets your entire biochemical tone for the day. Open your eyes, stretch, breathe into your abdomen. Listen to your own internal hum. Activate your vagus nerve before the world floods you with stress signals. Rule 2. Analog slowness. Every physical action, pouring tea, opening a door, picking something up, do it 15% slower, consciously. When you catch yourself rushing around, stop. Freeze for 10 seconds. Then continue, but smoothly. Let the world wait. Queens don't run for departing trains. They take the next one. Rule 3. The sovereign pause. In every interaction, with a cashier, a colleague, a friend, a man, when someone finishes speaking or asks you something, don't respond immediately. Count to 3. Hold eye contact. Stay inside that silence. Observe the urge to fill it, and don't. Allow yourself to be someone who does not rush to reply. We're living in an age of constant agitation. Nervous systems are burned out. People can't sleep without stimulation. They can't eat without scrolling. They've forgotten how to simply sit and be. A woman who can hold inner stillness in this chaotic world is not just attractive. She's rare. She's a source. Like a well of clean water in the middle of a scorched desert. And everything moves toward a source. Opportunities, money, powerful men who are exhausted from proving themselves to the world. They all want one thing, a place where they can take off their armor. And the most important part? You finally take off yours. You stop forcing life. Because feminine abundance doesn't come from chasing, it comes from alignment. When you stop running after the butterfly, it lands on your shoulder. So slow down. Breathe into your belly. Relax your shoulders. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are already enough. In the comments, write one sentence. I choose my own rhythm. Anchor it. Make it real. Don't skip this. It's a contract with yourself. If this shifted something in you, leave a like. That's how I know this intersection of neuroscience and deep inner states is working. And we'll continue this journey on Soft Society channel. This was Always Yours, KATARA Lilith. I thank you for being here today. I am looking forward to hear from you in the comments. Talk soon.